Welcome everyone to round 1 of IRT's brand new NLS 3-hour series. I will be your host today, Tomi Kutashi, and I have the wonderful Tomas Januszaitis with me today. I welcome you too, bro.
Yeah, it's been a while with you too. It's like 1 month that I did last broadcast stuff. So I'm really glad to come back here.
It's a recurring guest. So let's take a look at what we have here. Our brand new championship format. We will have 3 hours of multiclass action on the green hell itself, having GT3, GT4, and TCR machinery. And moreover, this whole NLS 3-hour series, all 7 rounds of it, will also, just like in real life, will serve as a qualification for the upcoming Nürburgring 24-hour race we're having set up for you in September. But before that, we have 7 long rounds of the NLS 3-hour series to go through on the infamous Nordschleife. So the qualifying for the race is already on. Let's jump onto that right now, shall we? It's just like racing. Oh, sorry, I'm not actually. But according to the pack, the first people to drive out are already at the carousel.
I wonder what they're gonna do. Is it really comparable to ACC or not? Because I have driven on ACC. I know about AC does have some sketchy part of the track because it's not updated yet, so they are running on the old Nordschleife track, where the curbs will kill you, and you have to be really respectful for that.
As far as I heard, you have to be really mindful with these curbs. I also know that these GT3 cars are also really prone to bottom out on this track, so as if the Nordschleife, it wouldn't be a challenge in itself enough. The drivers will be needing to concentrate on these factors as well if they want to survive these 3 hours of racing. So I already mentioned that these races will serve as a qualification for the 24-hour race. How that works essentially is in order to qualify yourself, and importantly yourself, not your team, to the 24-hour race, is you need to complete at least 2 of these 3-hour races with less than, I think it was 20 accident points, and with less than 5 laps gap behind the class leader. I think that's pretty doable. So basically, you just need to complete at least 2 races in a very consistent manner in this series.
Yeah, the whole point of pre-qualifying is don't die. Just race carefully, because this track doesn't have any runoff areas. So if you touch the grass, you're going into barriers, you may kill your engine, and your race is done there. So this track, that's why they call it hell. One wrong step and you're dead.
So this 25 minutes of qualifying will naturally allow the drivers to commit any serious mistakes on track. I don't know, with like for GT3s, lap times are about just a few seconds more than 8 minutes. So that means about you have 3 full laps of time, and that's also including your out lap. So basically you have 2 real shots at trying to do your best and secure that pole position, which will be absolutely crucial. As well, we all know the sim racing community. I'm pretty sure there will be carnage in the first lap, especially with a grid that is this stacked and has three car classes, sometimes extremely different in handling and performance.
Yeah, but the whole problem with qualifying on this track is if you go off track just a moment, get off track, and that lap will not count. So you have to push, but you have to be careful because you don't have you cannot do a mistake. If you go out of the track, you're basically done for qualifying. You need to be really careful on this track.
Yeah, that's a real excruciating thing with all these long tracks like Le Mans or Nürburgring. Yes, basically you do one tiny mistake at the beginning of your lap, and you have to do the whole stretch before you can do another lap. It's basically like dying to a boss and having to complete the whole entire level again before you can face them again.
For Nordschleife, I would say you have to go back to tutorial level and climb back again.
Basically.
First 4 cars, GT4s are gonna be a bit slower, so they may only have to do 2 laps total. So Teacher is doing 8:52, the fastest one, and SP10, that is a GT4. Their best lap in pre-qualifying is 8 minutes and 52. So from GT3 class, they're like 50 seconds slower per lap. So
it's quite a heavy deficit.
Yeah, so I think they only have like 2 laps maximum. Because sometimes you only need like one more minute to get one more lap done, and it's over. So
yeah, and I couldn't even like really consider how much headroom do they have for taking this qualifying session kind of comfortably, because of course even if you cannot qualify yourself to a position you really desired, we could say you have 3 hours to make up for your mistakes, but come on, it's at a track that will be absolutely ruthless with you.
basically the only opportunity to overtake somebody is on the GP track. That is the first corners until you get into Nordschleife. When you get into Nordschleife, that's a really big risk you're gonna take to overtake somebody. Even overtaking like a TCR or a slower car, like a GT4, driving a GT3 car, it's really you have to know what they're doing, and you can have to like follow them for a couple of corners to even show them that you're there and overtake quickly. So it takes some precaution on this track too. Because if you're qualifying behind, it's gonna be really hard. And if you have the space to battle in top 5, it's very hard. Very hard for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, on the Nordschleife part, the North Loop, it's essentially your only chance to overtake is forcing some grave mistake from your opponents. But even that is pretty tricky, because as the track is so narrow and bound by walls, even if you force a mistake from the car ahead, you have a very high risk of them collecting you when they are having a close meeting with the boss.
Yeah, we have some like real life scenery. I think if I remember correctly, last year Porsche was overtaking Dacia and was taken out because
Ooh,
he went over the curb and
just
both
what we were
collected
talking
themselves.
about. Just what we were talking about. There's very tricky curbs at this track, and the Scary Phantoms will need to pay that toll.
Oh.
So let's take a look what is happening with the GT4 cars. We haven't batted an eye on them yet. First, I saw on the entry list we have a pretty diverse roster of GT4 cars.
What is really great about these mods is that they are quite POP'd. That even if you pick one car, you will not be that much faster than the other car manufacturer.
Yeah, the BOP is quite well done with these car mods. Although I do remember racing the Guerrilla GT4s that we can see on track here. I do remember one or two of them being quite OP on a multitude of tracks. I strongly suppose a fix had been issued since, but I strongly remember, for example, the Alpine A110 used to be a beast overall.
McLaren. Oh, yeah, Cayman. McLaren and a Camaro. I wonder, did they pick a Camaro to... Maybe they have a higher top speed. I wonder if that's correct or not.
We're just lovers of USA machinery.
Love fuel consumption. those V8.
Not exactly eco-friendly. Oh, GT3 out, just in front of the No Green Motorsports car, but let the Camaro go doing safely, as you can see the first times posted by the GT3s going around their fast laps. So currently Joss Lay is leading provisionally the qualifying session, with Braga being behind him. Oh, I said it's Chernaskus being behind him from Slow as Fun. It's lovely to see the results rolling in continuously, and I can already see that there are gaps that are quite close to each other. You can see P5 and P6, especially P6 and P7, Burfo and Golden Racing being within 3/10 of each other.
Most of people are taking it quite slower than the race. They will have to finish the lap. If you go off track, it will not count, and you're gonna have to start from the back. So it's better to put this one lap down, and if you have another one, you can start pushing. So maybe that's what people are going after, putting down one lap, and after that, trying to do their best and improve. So we may will see a bit more improvements here.
The car was a bit lucky to get a bit of tow from that BMW. Bear in mind that the start-finish line is actually on the GP track, not under the Bilstein Bridge, where the rolling start will be happening. So, first contender in GP4 will cross the line very shortly. No Greek Motorsports. Oh, excuse me, I was that wrong. It's 10 Red Stack actually had done a lap before them. It was not that marvelous of a lap from No Grip.
It's one to drive around the track, it's another to push around it. It takes some real balls to do that.
Absolutely, and also take into account that you're facing multi-class traffic during the qualifying session. So we are yet to see DCR cars setting the lap time. Suppose that was an invalid lap from Mosquito Phantoms, as it did not appear on our leaderboard. A bit awkward of a situation. 3 minutes to go in the qualifying, so pretty much everyone has one more lap only to post a proper lap. Yeah, it's confirmed. From all three TCRs currently on track, no one could set a valid lap for their last try.
I really thought that this TCR was the Adam who was driving though, because I'm really used to the IRT cars being all green, and only now I noticed that it's not Adam and it's not IRT, it's another team.
Yeah. As far as I remember,
it was a bit of a shocker.
As far as I remember, actually the TCR is one of the IRT cars that's more grey than green. It has been nice, cool green stripes running through the middle. You will be able to see during the race. I wouldn't be surprised if we would see that car somewhere at the front of the TCR grid.
Left of the qualifying. Now everybody should be doing their last laps, I think. Correct.
So currently, as it stands, David Fernandez is leading the GT3 standings. In GT4, it's Yezi from Tedem Rest is according to the at least the World Series time leading the pack. And in TCR it's Siren Speed Demons, Leopard, who is taking the provisional pole position. The BMW M4 is now by far the most popular pick to the GT3s. It's just understandable, pretty fast and very, very stable GT3 machinery. In fact, all three of the GT3 leaders are steering one of these GT4s, except for Fun Sim Racing actually set the fastest time with a Lexus RCF, just to falsify what I was about to say.
It should be a bit more, it says. But I guess not everybody has joined. Because if I can count correct, there should have been 6 of them. It's a bit quite sad that not everybody could have made it to the first round of NLS.
Yeah, the entry list was certainly longer for TCR, especially GT4. But we cannot really complain about the GT3 grids. We are absolutely stacked with 24 GT3s hitting the track.
We will probably even see a blue flags for GT3 cars. P1 and I mean P5 could have start lapping the top 30 of GT3 class.
Could absolutely be.
So we may even see blue flags on GT3 cars.
Well, now that will be even more of an extreme of multiclass when you have to lap cars that are essentially the same pace as your cars are. So a few cars remain on the track, finishing their last hot laps. The lap times are certainly farther. Ooh, nice jump! Certainly farther than what we could see in the free practice session, which is absolutely understandable. As I mentioned already, both multi-class traffic and just taking it a bit more safe than you can in the practice sessions, because you really only have two laps to do what you can out on the track.
I really want to see the first lap of the first corner. It's gonna be interesting. Everybody's going for that. So maybe try to be first in first corner.
Yeah, you just always win every endurance race in the first corner. It's like a famous proverb.
I mean, for one lap you can always be first. I mean, doesn't really count where you take it in the first corner. It really counts when you take it on the finish line.
So let's see if Senior Racing, they could actually improve their position, jumping to P2 in the last seconds of qualifying. Only 3 cars to finish their laps. 2 GT3s and a PCR. Well, the car definitely looks a bit worn, if you ask me.
Wasn't that Hyundai that took it into a barrier?
Yeah, it absolutely was.
Yes, it's sometimes it's quite hard to remember more than. Have to remember that they have to remember more than 20 corners, and half of these corners are blind. So it's really if you like got anxious or stuff like that, you think about something else. That's it. You can come up to the corner. It's not flat out. It's turns. So it takes some dedication to remember all that.
Well, if Zeman driving this car can set a valid lap, he will score P2 in the TCR standings.
Adam is starting from the back, that's quite weird, but...
Oh, we are used to seeing him sandbag and just Mr. Last to First challenge.
Wild ones haven't done any about that.
So as we have finished our qualifying session, let's take a quick look at the results here. Starting from SP9 or the GT3 class, it was Venuti from For Fun Sim Racing who could set the fastest qualifying time today with a 8 minute and 7.9 seconds. Behind him is Ralph Cernavskis from Slow as Fun and Davi Fernandez from, well, the team bearing his very own name. And following them in P4 is Josley Racing, Scuderia Cucini, Bravos Motorsports, excuse me. So we were at P6, Bravos Motorsports. Closing the top 10 in GT3 is Muyuki Motorsports number 3, SIS Squad. Excuse me if I just butchered the pronunciation. Burpro in Pre9 and Family Team with the Hungarian driver in P10. If you look at SP10 or GT4, Tatum Restek with Iadzi behind the wheel took pole position, with 47 Senior Racing Team behind them in P2, and No Grip Motorsport and Crash Team Racing closing the grid in SP10. And last but not least, in TCR, it was Sirens Speed Demons closing in pole position, and Basket Phantoms behind them, with them being the only ones who could set a valid lap in this qualifying session, with Wild Ones and IRT at Torque Sim Racing closing the TCR grid.
It's really fun to watch GT3 class SP9. That top 4 is on. It's only 1 second basically. Fastest is 0.7.9. The another one is 0.8. So yeah, we have top 4 that is in 1 second.
It's a bit of a carnage for Golden Racing, who were at the lead. Oh, I'm terribly sorry, excuse me. I myself got fooled by the Beatles temporary start, and we're only about to go for green light now under the start for the first round of the NLS 3-hour series. So it's green, and For Fun Sim Racing is leading the pack into the very infamous Turn 1 on the Nürburgring GT circuit. There's a little bit of carnage in the first corners, but the first 10 people from the GT3 class could get away successfully. Redstack is in P12 among the GT circuit, well, much farther ahead than GT4 leads in this race. George was already showing himself in the mirror of the For Fun racing team, trying to put pressure on that Lexus as quick as he can, because he knew also what he just said in the qualifying session: either overtake them in GP circuit or just stay patient for the entirety of the north loop of the track. They're very close to the rear bumper of that Lexus, bringing some real pressure.
Real chances actually if you closing very close behind another car and you have a one chance on the long straight that grab to overtake them. But you have to be really careful for the car to brake into the last corners of the track. There's a chance to overtake them.
Yes, side by side. W took the Lexus on the outside. Very nice move from David Fernandez to take an early lead into the race and take it out of the hands of Fancy Racing. Well, the P2, excuse me, as Gujira Racing is leading. Yeah, do excuse me, because all the timing screens I'm looking at are all over the place and not at all according to each other, but based on what we can see on the track map, it's For Fun Sim Racing, who we are spectating right now, are in fact in P3. So if we pop our eyes on the CR class, it's Adam Kasuni hailing wild ones in their Cupra, with the leftover of the GT3 grid who didn't quite survive the start of the race as safely as the top 10 could.
The cars are going for a very good fight. Oh, we have even a fight behind the two BMWs are fighting.
Yeah, it's just lovely to see that so much stuff is going on in the first laps. It's well, it's we'd love to see literally each and every fight, which fortunately is impossible. So first, I see from the intervals the GT4 field is actually the most spread out. This GT3s really need to look out for the TCRs and vice versa. Oh, and wild ones get sent into the wall by the BMW lapping them. That's what you have to be really careful of. Just what we talked about, very, very extremely tricky track to overtake and to lap cars, and especially when you got two bunches of cars that are fighting each other.
Yeah, that's what I was saying in qualifying, that it's really hard to overtake, especially a slower car here. Well, we have
a fight for quite an aggressive one for the second position in GT3 between Gojira Racing, Sim Motorsport, and Forfan Sim Racing. And the former, which is, as far as I learned, unfortunately is not named after the band, but the monster. When the BMW seemed to have taken some damage, as competitors are just driving around them. Godzilla has lost a tooth in that fight, so it seems. So they might be premature, but they might need to shoot their long pit stop much earlier than they thought if they want to stay in the race, because they are in an absolutely good position to score a good result.
Just said, if it's only yellow, like minimal damage, you can just stay out and try to finish your stint, and after that do a long pit stop. So you do not lose any time, or if your teammates can join, you're basically gonna get a brand new car. It's only possible on AC, not on ACC, because basically it works a bit differently.
So it was just like racing, overtaking, slow as fun, just right in front of our eyes in the Tinger Straight. Another excellent place for an overtake apart from the GP circuit. But Slow as Fun has absolutely not let go of that podium position.
So we have a GT3 class that is coming up to the Nordschleife again. We have done one lap. So the only part you can relax the GP track. Everywhere else you have to be really careful and really intense to not crash or send it to the wall. So because the GP track is made for even F1 grade. We're back onto the Nordschleife part.
So as we suspected, Adam Kasuni is already attacking for P1 in the TCR class.
For Speed Demons is basically defense. It's really hard to defend for the whole 3 hours, but that's your only opportunity to take the.
No mistake. The pressure was really high from the IRT guy, and Adam Kasuni has now acquired P1 in TCR. And I suspect it will be extremely hard for the other 3 TCR teams to get that position out of his hand.
It's already P4, it's already 60 seconds, so a whole minute behind it. So it's really impossible unless Adam makes a mistake and sends it into the wall. That's still very doable, and this track doesn't forgive you for any mistakes that you make.
In the meantime,
We have a
we fight for fourth position. Oh, sorry, fifth position in GT3. No, fourth position. It's three cars tailing each other.
It's a train. It's even Mercedes a bit back. Audi did quite a good move on the BMW and overtook it quite fast. Just went straight for that position. See if they're gonna start fighting for P5 because the Audi start to running away now.
Yeah, Leclerc is steering that Audi R8 very well ahead of the two BMWs and the AMG, building a little gap and just leaving the two BMWs to fight each other.
Basically, all you need to do is get 4/10 of a gap from person behind you into that long straightaway. Otherwise, people can catch up to you. Oh, we have somebody
Yeah,
around.
Scudera Ciuccini has been out of that fight. We'll see if they have any damage to deal with. They're successfully back on the track, but they've lost quite a few positions. So the Muki Motorsports car can now absolutely just concentrate on chasing down that Audi for the fourth position without needing to worry about the other Beamer behind him.
But you need to remember that you're fighting in the track itself, not only your opponents.
A little bit sketchy, but still caught it.
The more you push, the more track you have to cut, but sometimes it can get really sketchy and it just can send you into the wall without even getting what the hell is happening to you.
The Muki team also went out behind the Audi because they're back to P13 now. So no one is surviving behind this R8.
We have like half a second of a gap from Club. It's yours. 4 seconds.
Yeah, for the first time the field is kind of starting to spread out a bit. So everyone has a bit more breathing room. After 15 minutes, the thrill and all the adrenaline of the start has started to go down. As BMS is making a move on Joe Slay Racing in the inside. May have surprised the Dutch driver a bit because the Porsche just shot through the inside of that corner. Very nice overtake, taking the 8th position from the Brazilian team.
The Porsche saw a gap and it just went for it, I guess.
Absolutely. If gap, car, as the famous proverb says. There's also a spicy fight going on for the 15th position in GT3.
Everybody is finding their opponents today, so...
No, absolutely. We have an opponent for everyone here.
Ooh.
Not a lot of Aston Martins on the grid today. It's quite a unique car choice from Exerts Motorsport. I think MG is putting some real pressure on them, and they're approaching the... Oh! Even before the straight section, the Aston goes out. The MG could force a mistake. Oh, and quite a few touches with the ball.
There is a chance that after the first touch, his wheel went out of alignment, and that's why he touched it a second time. Yes.
Yes. It's, when it's hard to keep the car in a straight line, it's over.
They will have to do a long pit stop at the end of this.
They want to save their race at least.
I mean, you will not be fighting for top 5, top 10, but you still have to finish to pre-qualify for the 24 hours.
So a little multi-class action was going on in the end part of the lap between family team and the green TCR, that is very importantly not the IRT car.
I can see that GT4 leader has ran away quite a lot from P2, P3. It's like over a minute. They have made their gap, and they can now chill out and just try to finish it in one piece.
Yeah, just 20 minutes passed from the race, and Tyrone Restek also already having a minute of a lead out of 47 Senior Racing. So far so good for the teams. Only one DNF in the first 20 minutes, which was Team Delta Infinite number 83 with Maciejewski driving that BMW. But everyone else is still on track and pushing for that finish.
You have to remember that everybody has only 3 cut warnings, and on the 4th you get a drive-through, if I remember correctly. So that drive-through could change something up, but this track doesn't have anywhere to cut, basically. On the GP track you can get a cut warning. Everyone else, if you cut, you get ended up in the barriers. Basically,
except
you
if
serve
you're
the penalty straight on the track.
Except if you're trying to do a Kevin Astor pass in the long straight. I mean, with all fairness, he was only 2 wheels through the white line, so completely legal move that was.
This track, at least on Stewart part, they will not need to rewatch the whole race to check who is cutting the track, because you are gonna serve the penalty straight on the track in the barriers.
It's a Stewart-friendly circuit.
We have 2 BMWs fighting for 8th position.
Yeah, Scuderia Ciccini trying to get those positions back after they have made a contact with the wall and needed to wait for a little traffic to rejoin. Trying to get P8 from Goldenberg Racing in Austrian team.
I think Scuderia is quite waiting for a bit wider track, or like a mistake from his
Yeah,
opponent.
patience is the name of the game for them here. They can pretty much just wait until they get to the Tinger straight and drive around the other car.
You have to remember, you have to be really close to the other car to gain advantages from that slipstream. So you cannot leave the car front too much in front. And racing very close to each other, the problem is that you don't have enough air. So in the corners you can just straight up die, going flat out. You have less air, so less downforce. Yeah, well,
Oh, and Goldenberg Racing was just nice enough to let Scuderia Tuccini go. Very polite move from them. If there would be a fair play award for each round, we would certainly consider the Austrian drivers to be issued that.
We have to remember that you can only have 20 incident points to count the race towards your pre-qualifying for 24 hours, in the last 24 hours. So if you see that somebody is really faster behind, the option is to let them by and not make a contact.
Oh, absolutely. From sheerly the qualification standpoint, yes, you're absolutely right. You're just better be safe than sorry. And they are still, these cars are still very well within the 5-lap interval behind the leader that's also needed for the qualification. So yeah, sometimes it's more important to concentrate on longer term goals and just let a faster car go, even if you're in the same lap and you're in the same class.
I see somebody who's gonna try to be faster in 24 hours than in 3 hours. Here it's not that important to win. It's about pre-qualifying.
Oh well, I mean it's still a championship.
Yeah, I mean if you win, you get bragging rights. Am I right?
Absolutely. Who wouldn't risk an overtake for bragging rights? Something might have happened to the front of the GT3 pack, as David Fernandez is now only 1.7 seconds behind for Fun Sim Racing. Venuti behind the wheel currently. The IRT liveried car.
You can always see the underglows and those like green back.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty good. You look awesome in the 24-hour race. And also that soundtrack of the Lexus is just marvelous.
They're keeping the BMW slowly but catching ahead to the Lexus.
We might see a fight starting to bloom for the overall lead and P1 in GT3.
I think he will not overtake him on the GP track. It will have to do it on the old good Nordschleife.
Well, you can always be patient enough and wait until you get around to the GP track again, but that to someone who's tailing P1 for an overall lead closely.
The there was a couple more cars behind very close, I would just go on the Nordschleife not to not lose that much time. But you have to risk it to gain it.
No risk, no gain, indeed.
Infamous corner that 10 years ago happened. If I'm not mistaken, I think 10 years ago that GTR took into the flat. This the really sketchy ones that we have to go flat out and basically not catch air.
Yeah, also tricky because with just a slightly incorrect aero setup, you'll just put a lot of downforce on the back of the car. And yeah, and places like Flugplatz, it will just absolutely turn your car into an airplane from an aerodynamic perspective. I love how Fernandez is just very slightly but very consistently closing down onto P1, just keeping a consistent threat level for fun sim racing, but still being far enough to be far away from the aero wash, and for the case if for fun makes any mistakes. Because as I said, even if the car had a few, well, get themselves to stop across the track, your race can come to an end just as fast as their can. Get this closed down to 1.2 seconds. Fernandez is really pushing for that P1.
I think we have a battle for a P8. Scudineri, yeah?
Yeah, it's once again.
Goldenberg.
It seems like Goldenberg Racing has re-overtaken the... but let them go again.
Very, very fast fight, yes.
So maximum politeness.
Yeah, the P2 is like keeping that 1.5 gap to the front.
Yeah, we will absolutely keep a keen eye on that.
Not really gaining that much, not really losing.
As they are through the carousel, they are onto the last part of the Nordschleife circuit.
For P10, I think. P11 is only half a second behind it. Yes, it's two BMWs again.
Yeah, as I said, the vast majority, like as far as I remember, half of the field almost, or more than half of the field is BMW M4 GT3s.
It's quite sad there's no BMW Touring in here.
Oh, if only we had a mod for that.
We would have seen a lot of touring cars. Family wagons with, you know, where you can you can do racing, but if you have a summer house and some, you know, you can put there a trimmer, like a mower, all that stuff, and you can put it, and you can go into the Nordschleife track.
Yeah, racing is cool, but I mean, someone has to bring the groceries home too.
quite utility car, I guess. P10 is winding further away from P11 at the moment, I think.
Yeah, these guys baited us with a good fight, but Mothership Racing is getting farther and farther to protect that last point scoring position for them. And there's still no spiciness in either the GT4 or the TCR field. They are nicely and evenly spread out on track. And also the fight for P1, at least our hopes for it have chilled down, as Fernandes is now more than 2.5 seconds behind for Fun Sim Racing.
Maybe he has done... oh, we have... yeah, there is blue flags ahead of him. Oh!
Ooh, a little contact.
Ooh.
The blue flagged car. Ooh, that's exactly what we were talking about.
I hope his car is still okay and he's still able to fight for that P1. He did lose quite a lot of time to the back marker because of the back marker to the lead there. But there's still 2.5 hours to go, so there's a lot of things that can change.
Yeah, we have a lot of time. So in the first 35 minutes of this race, fast with For Fun Sim Racing holding on to P1 for GT3, and IRT at Torque Sim Racing is leading the TCR class, and Tadron Restech is still on the lead of the GT4 class.
Then on down the gap to the P10. Quamanda team. It's only 1 second to the P10. I wonder if he is, if he we check it again and he goes back. It's a long straight line. Let's see how it does until the turn 1. He did went back the gap that was over a second. Again back to... smoke from those tires. So now overtake opportunities for him. So way back, 2 seconds, lost a lot of time in that turn 1.
I know commentators are supposed to be absolutely unbiased, but you could be rooting for this BMW MP11. It's driven by one of your compatriots, Vaidas Gudas. I have no clue if I'm saying Lithuanian names correctly, but he's chasing down Mothership Racing for 10th position.
Expertise. I think I overtook somebody. It was what it was. Have a back, if I'm correct now. Are they racing for position? I cannot see that. I think it's second place. Yes. Second place BMW that is running ahead, and P3. Oh no.
It isn't?
What's happening with that? Very interesting. It showed that
it was yeah, it was P3. Slow as fun.
it was P3.
Who were ahead of him? Oh, The lawn moving with that Aston Martin.
P4 is overtaking that back marker too, I think.
Yeah, so the
Everybody is trying to overtake back markers as fast as possible.
the front of the
Remember
GT3
that
field is just starting to.
You have to remember that it's the faster cars choice to not choice but rule to overtake safely.
Yeah, as the slower car, you only need to keep a consistent and predictable line. Indeed, it's the faster car's job to make the overtake safe as it can be.
So don't try to dive bomb from 10 meters away, like through
Words to live by.
Try to remember that they still have racing land they can take, so need to be heads up for that.
As we're looking for... I was just looking at the timing screen, and Maverick Motorsports has spun out in the corner. I was just about to say that they were chasing Josh Slay Racing, who qualified P4 in GT3 and currently holding on to P15. So not a very good first 40 minutes for the Dutch guy.
I mean, that's what I'm... especially with the Porsche, it's really difficult to drive with that.
Yeah, it has a reputation of being a very sketchy GT3 car.
I mean, it's really fun with that car, but it's really sketchy. For fun, sim racing still has fastest lap of the race. Adfork has best in TTR and Statum. 49.
Yeah, I mean the guys on the front of the TCR and the GT4 classes can pretty much just turn this into an impromptu hot lapping session with the immense gap they have had of their competitors. Now, after Sim Racing having a 40-second lead over Siren Speed Demons, and Tadrum Restek having more than a minute, 75-second lead over 47 Senior Racing Team.
And it's only not 1 hour into the race, so... David Fernandez is 6 seconds.
Yeah, getting farther and farther behind Warfan Sim Racing in P1. So Venuti is now building a very confident gap ahead of the second position for the overall win. Ooh.
Could it be because of the pack marker that crashed him out?
Could absolutely be. The front of the GT3 pack just had to overtake the back of the GT3 pack in the previous laps. And unless the lapped car is being as very lenient as the Goldenberg Racing car was, it can be really troubling to try and lap a car that is essentially literally the same pace as yours.
And Mateo has done another fastest lap. 8 minutes and 8 seconds. So improve.
Purple for fun sim racing. Yeah, we're having hopes of a fight for P10. I'm really aching to see these guys go door by door finally, because the gap between Zlindra and Gudas is just going back and forth, back and forth. Right now it's 1 second 30, and
one is better in one part of the track, another is better than another, and basically it looks like, oh, it's a second, and then it drops out. So it's really kind of weird, but let's see how it goes. I think only battle is for P10 at the moment. I don't see anybody.
Certainly the closest one.
P10 is closing down to P9, only 3 seconds.
It would be interesting to see a three-way fight for 9th position. I wonder if Goldenberg Racing will be as nice to the guys behind him as he was to Scuderia Ciuccini.
Been quite a lot of. I think this is the last lap until the end of their stints. I think they have enough fuel for one more.
Oh, the first stints are closing down.
Only 15 minutes left.
First, I see not a lot of teams will need to do driver swaps. The vast majority of the entries are one person per team, but we will see some people handing their cars into their teammates' hands. Of course, the one long stop is applicable to everyone on track, so essentially no one is losing any time with doing a driver swap.
Long pits if you're driving, so it's quite good still, you know, you can get that energy drink, something to snack on until like you have 2 minutes for rest till the timer ends, and you can
have someone do a massage on you.
If you're really that fast, you may even go for a walk, for a run.
Yeah,
around your room.
Ooh, Muffler Shop Racing losing it. They really didn't have anyone else to bother them, so it was an unfortunate driver mistake to see them.
Only 2 seconds.
Then Goldenberg Racing with Stein and Goldenberg driving can take a little breath now.
There is still a chance for a P11 to catch up a bit more, because they have lost a lot of time to P10. They're 4 seconds behind. P10 is 2.5 seconds behind the P9. There is still a chance for a little train fight for that 9th position. Problem is for the 9th, the Goldenberg, is that once you do a little mistake and somebody catches up, you start doing more and more mistakes. So, and you start noticing that somebody is behind you, and you have to fight and you have to defend for the whole track.
Yeah, essentially, yes, you just spiral down to making mistakes you don't even understand why you keep doing them.
2 seconds to move.
Yeah, Muffler Shop is continuing closing up to Goldenberg Racing after that little kiss with the wall. Seems like their car didn't suffer any serious damage from that. It can be tricky because sometimes a surprisingly little tap can result in surprisingly large damage to either your suspension or your car, just essentially losing a bumper and that messing up your entire control of the car.
Basically, all the damages really count towards the whole stint. Because if you do a damage at the start of your stint, you're gonna lose quite a lot of time per stint, basically. And it's only 3 hours.
Yeah, well, exactly, and it's we already discussed this about making laps invalid, but absolutely true. You do any mistake, especially at the first third of the circuit, and you have 25 kilometers to drive around with a damaged car, all while faster traffic will become blasting behind you, maybe even some cars fighting behind you, and you also have the mental tax of needing to get a car. Ooh, a little.
And we have a fight for P9, and so it's a tap and tap and tap. Muffler.
One of those mid-sentence, that was a very close call for Muffler Shop Racing, almost caught that other Beamer behind. I think that was a lap car.
That was a back marker.
Essentially just needing to do a complete reflex move out of the fast right-hander. I think I saw something, I don't know if it was Formula 2 or 3 in Monaco in the past few years. Someone was going slow in the tunnel, and I unfortunately don't remember which driver was it, but they had like 0.1 second. Oh, and that's Goldenberg Racing. They have went out in the right-hander. Oh, and very careful. It was a pretty risky rejoin. Well, that's that for the fight we were waiting for.
Is jumped into the top 10th position.
And another GT4 having a little tour in the grass. Being some sort of curses upon these corners we're just looking at. Oh, it's Goldenberg Racing got out of the point scoring positions pretty fast in the turn of events. 2 more hours for them to get back. As far as I remember, Goldenberg Racing was actually one of the two-person entries. Two Austrian guys trying to take this BMW as far ahead in the leaderboard as they can.
I'm wondering if they're gonna do a driver change after that mistake. Stick it out and only change 1 hour left until the end of the race. A long pit stop.
Yeah, well, we are slowly but surely approaching the end of the first hour from the race. I guess mathematically it would, like logically, it would make sense to do your driver swap at halftime. But obviously, traffic, damage, and all sorts of other factors can have a saying in that.
Have already back marker, I think, went to the pit lane. The Aston. So in the pit lane. Do their first stunt. Seventh lap. I don't remember how long you can drive on the GT3 cars. Is it 7 or 8 laps if you have the fuel and tires?
Well, Muffler Shop Racing is putting the pedal to the metal, catching up to P8.
They're doing all they can to get that. And we have a penalty for Experts Motorsport.
Oh,
Crossing
crossing the pit lane exit.
Yes, you need to remember not to cross that light line.
Isn't that the most annoying thing to get a penalty for? I think, in my opinion, it's even worse than speeding in the pit lane, because it's such a little, small, inconvenient thing, and yet still you get a drive-through for it. Obviously, I'm not questioning the why is the penalty present. I'm just saying that it can be very demoralizing, to say the least.
I mean, once you get them enough of them, you start realizing it's not worth it to cross it early. Then it ends. Not getting that much time, so you're gonna remember it next time. Do not cross it.
Yeah, but until you get to the next time, you've already wasted a lot of precious seconds or even minutes doing your drive-through. So yeah, you have plenty of time to think about what you just did.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can see GT3 is going in the pits so far. Out of the GT3 field, 4 teams. It's a Joe Slay Racing Posto Rosso Racing team in currently P18. Excuse me, Exerts Motorsport and Gojira Racing C Motorsport have done their long pit stops. And in the TCR and GT4 classes, so far no one has done the 2-minute long pit stops. They will need to do sometime in the race.
Butler is laying down the P8 car, slowly but surely. The only problem when you start pushing and taking those curves, if you go a bit too much over them, it can really send you out of the track. Sim Racing has done a quite good lead, almost 14 seconds from P2.
So can be said, the same can be said about P2, 18 seconds ahead of Slow as Fun.
They do have quite a lot of breathing ground.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, they do not have to worry about the cars behind them annoying them through the forests of the Green Hell. Oh, and P1 from TCR is pitting. So Siren's Speed Demons will take the first position in TCR, even if virtually. Also Wild Ones is in the pit lane.
wild ones are disconnected to do their
Yeah,
long pit stop.
I think they are doing the driver swap. They are joined with 2 drivers.
You have
Muffler Shop Racing has reached Scuderia. Sorry, I can never memorize the name of that team. Chuccini? Is that it? Well, that overtake was quite anticlimactic, if you ask me. I blinked and the Muffler Shop car was already ahead. The Czech driver is really putting the pedal to the metal. Now has a 32 second gap behind BMS. Let's see if he can reach the Brazilian team to have a fight for P7.
I guess he drank a Red Bull can. Only now it started to work.
Oh, a little bit
for him
too wide.
And start pushing. Start putting down the lap times.
Yeah, you really have to be mindful about that, because if Red Bull gives you wings, and this track is notorious for making cars fly. Sorry.
Yeah.
So you might want to reside to Monster or Rockstar or any different brand to avoid ending up upside down in the forest.
Leaders are doing one more lap. They're not going up for the pit stop.
Yeah, and lead in TCR, IRT, and Torque Sim Racing have done their long pit, so they have gotten them out of the way. Also Wild Ones, who currently hold on to P3 in the TCR standings. So it's only up to the GT4 class now to start doing those long pit stops. Also, P4, 5, and 6 went to the pits at the same time from GT3, so Burpro, Unstable Level Racing, and Sosis Squad are all taking their pit stops at the very same time. They seem to like each other a lot if they want to keep this close to each other. Which means that Muffler Shop Racing and Scuderia Chuccini will certainly overtake them for positions.
Remember that Unstable has a full tank of...
Full tank and cold tires.
I mean, they are brand new tires, but they are cold, so they're not up to temperatures and they will not give you as much grip.
With this pit stop, so we can at least see some refreshment to the front of the GT3 pack. Currently watching Unstable Level Racing to try and get that P6 back from the Portuguese team.
There is running a bit away on the straight lines because it does have less weight than the MG car.
Yeah, the driver, the Mercedes, is sitting on 120 liters of fuel. It's Dmitry Ivanikov behind the wheel right now. And will be behind the wheel for the remainder of the race. It's a one-person entry. I'm pretty sure that for for teams who are entering this race with only one person, but they still want to partake in the 24-hour race, we will see other people driving these cars, because the qualification works on a per person basis, not a per team basis.
They will still have to do a pre-qualifying for the 24 hours.
So more and more GT3s are embarking on the long pit stops. Ooh, BMW taking an excursion in the grass. It was Muffler Shop Racing.
Oh,
and the AMG had taken advantage of this surprise Scuderia Cecchini has taken from the rejoining car and getting back 5th position.
opportunity, and he took it, and now he's running away from P6 and P7. I mean, they still haven't done a pit stop, so the Scuderia and Muffler gonna have to do a pit stop at the end of this lap. After the pit stop, I think we're gonna still see Muffler Shop and Scuderia racing for position again.
Yeah, maybe the Scuderia team will take revenge on that very easy overtake we saw from Muffler Shop Racing.
Down from 14 seconds to 8 seconds. He's slowly catching up to the P1 again. It could be because of the back markers that right now is fighting with. We should be seeing the leaders coming in the pit lane to their pit stop. The long pit stop really makes the strategy work, because if you're stuck behind somebody, you can do a long pit stop and try to do
Undercut. Yep, so it's for Fun Sim Racing into the pits from the overall lead. Also David Fernandez behind him. Run out of fuel for the first stint. They were actually quite close to each other before entering the pits. So we will keep an eye out for them for the pit exit. In the meantime, we also keep an eye out for Muffler Shop Racing, returning back to that little gravel tour at the beginning of the lap, now being 2.7 seconds behind Comenda.
another position to Commander.
They are down to P8 right now.
Did their tires went out? Did they lose that much time? Except Motorsport has disconnected. They probably had DNF'd from that race. We have another car that is catching the... We have leaders coming out of the pit lane. The Fernandez is doing their long pit stop, same as the for fun sim racing, I guess.
Both teams in the pits. Also for slow as fun and BMS in third and fourth positions, so the overall leader pack is in the pits right now. As for fun sim racing is getting out.
What it's behind them?
Isn't that the leader? Isn't that Kasoni?
That it's I don't think so.
Oh no, sorry, he has the IRT livery. I was wrong. It's it was actually
P4.
Wild Ones P4. Well, David Fernandez shaved off a second of gap compared to what we had between him and P1 before their pit stop.
Unstable team that hasn't done a long pit stop, but they are right at the moment P3. Mistaken, yeah, they haven't done.
Yeah, Scuderi and Commander also in the pits in the meantime.
Muffler shop is quite a, as I say, a wild card. One minute he is P7, another minute he is P12.
Oh, excuse me, we are encountering a small technical issue. My game just threw me out of the race. Excuse us for a second as we are fixing it. I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience. Sorry, Thomas, you were saying something, by the way. I didn't quite catch what you were about to say to us.
Yeah, so I was talking about muffler shop racing. That 1 minute they are P8, another minute they are P12. Wonder how it's gonna end up as they're doing their long pit stop.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild ride for the team. We are back on the track. Hopefully, no problems from now until the end of the race. I don't know if you can see any fights brewing, because I certainly cannot, although... oh no, sorry, I was fooled by the leaderboard. I was hoping that David Fernandez indeed got just 4 seconds behind for Fun Sim Racing, but he in fact did not. And Posto Rosso team got a DT penalty. They're currently 20th in the GT3 with Ivan Matronov behind the wheel. So not a fortunate happening for him.
To have David is still trying to catch up 5 seconds from the leader. Four seconds is grinding down the time. P1. We may will see okay, not at the moment. I thought of P9 and P8 will start fighting, but as I can see, I think the P9 Bor Pro has done a mistake and has lost quite a lot of time to the P8.
Excuse me for
Slow
a second.
as fun.
As we're asked from the chat to show BMS, and I'm a person of my word, so here we go. BMS. Currently holding on to P6 very confidently, 20-second lead, actually 20-second lead, sorry. The leaderboard fooled me, it's all over the place. What matters is they have a very confident lead ahead of Justly Racing in their 992 GT3. BMS is also one of the multi-personnel entries with Maximiliano Braga and Sirenio Ramos driving the Porsche around the track for these 3 hours. Currently it's Braga behind the wheel. They haven't done their long stop yet, so I'm sure Ramos will get behind the wheel too, apparently.
You have to do at least one stint to pre-qualify, basically. So in total, as a driver, if you're driving inside the team, you have to drive on the total like 2 hours to get into the 24 hours of race.
So IRT at Turk Sim Racing is very fastly approaching Siren Speed Demons to take back their first position in the TCR class. Driving the hell out of that Cupra.
Happening. It's just the overlay has a tweak that shows sometimes 3 seconds only, and it jumps back again to
yeah, it's really all over the place sometimes. Don't be fooled. Just trust your eyes better. I was just looking at that. It's now only the Skiddy Phantoms from TCR who haven't taken their long pit stop. They have a 1-lap lead ahead of Wild Ones, so I suppose they will stay in the same position whenever they go on their long pit stop.
I think yeah, it's for positional. TCR versus TCR. 3 seconds from P1, Siren Speed Demons. Another 2 teams are still on the north side apart. They're quite a lot behind than the P4 guys. It's quite far. He has been lapped.
Yeah, and it did miss that. Crash Team Racing from GT4 has actually quit the race. First, I see they have 16 incident points, so I wouldn't be surprised if those two things would be somehow connected to each other. So we are down to 3 competitors in GT4. But of course, Tadum Res Tech still having an enormous lead, a minute and 25-second lead ahead of 47 Senior Racing Team, who have a 4-minute and 19-second gap ahead of No Grip Motorsport. So is the McLaren leading, another McLaren leading the Camaro in GT4. The overall leader is approaching P2 in TCR.
GT3 car overtaking the TCR car.
Sony is really on the limit of that Cupra. He really wants to get that P1 back as quickly as he just can. He can hope that the GT3 will slow P1 in TCR down a bit, so he can make his overtake as soon as he just can. Another GT3 is approaching, is David Fernandez, P2 in GT3. So you can actually see the lead in both GT3 and TCR.
Difference of speed coming into and out of the corners compared to TCR is very different.
Absolutely mental. That's kind of the thing about multiclass racing, that you really need to be aware of the properties and limits of the cars in the other class, because TCRs and GT3s, for example, they are wildly different in handling and how they approach corners. So it isn't enough if you know how to handle your car, but you also need to be able to predict how the other car will behave in certain corners.
You cannot just send it and hope he will stick it on the inside. His grip is not the same as yours. Remember that the TCR, they have aero, but not as much as a GT3 car, especially on the front.
And to address the elephant in the room, they are front-wheel drive, which is you need to take a very different skill set to drive these cars fast than what you need for a TCR, well, for a GT3.
They don't have ABS neither.
Power slide.
Whoever is gonna drive TCR for 24 hours is gonna be mental, because they have no ABS. So the ABS is done by your foot, basically. You need to be careful.
And good luck doing that for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Essentially, same applies for LMP2 machinery.
It's great that we are not racing LMP2 cars on the Nordschleife, because that would be a quite interesting.
Be careful
race,
what you wish for.
The H on the Nordschleife part.
And the current objective, survive. Just one lap.
If I remember correctly, there was a Porsche that did LMP1 prototype.
Yeah, it was the 919 Evo, which was, well, it was essentially an LMP1 prototype that was rebuilt from the Porsche factory or the racing division to be a sort of unrestricted LMP1 prototype. So it's basically a NASA project on 4 wheels. Absolutely mental car. But yes, there have absolutely been prototype vehicles on the Nordschleife.
Overtake, I think. Carousel, no. Speed Demon sends it on the inside and takes the concern. Going to the infamous YouTube corner. Couple of corners. It's gonna be. If you're watching YouTube and all the crashes and BMW drifts, it happens in this part of the track. Most of the cars are sending it.
Isn't it a bit farther ahead?
Yeah, it's a couple of corners, if I remember correctly.
Well, no. This
Yeah,
overtake was as casual as our little talk about the YouTube corner was, really. I think it's the next one because the infamous YouTube corner has gravel on the exit of the right-hander. So this is the and I'm losing the rear. Took it a little bit too aggressively. He will certainly be in the 2026 Nürburgring fail compilations for that. Not to worry, he's still 0.4 seconds behind Siren Speed Demons. I mean,
he has to overtake the car again now.
I mean, with all fairness, I was a bit unjust with him because that was a huge save he had done. So it was at least as much as a win as it was a fail.
Just, at least he will not need to pay the barrier cost.
Yeah, no repair costs for the car
will not
either.
Be happy.
Maybe just one more tire set to eat through, one more fresh set of pants.
He did save it though from that barrier. It would have costed the race.
Also, an overtake for the overall lead. David Fernandez has overtaken For Fun Sim Racing. So, ding ding ding, everyone! Change for the overall lead after an hour and a half. David Fernandez is now leading the race ahead of For Fun Sim Racing, overtaking the Lexus in the long straight, and Venuti almost losing it.
Is not letting out and just tries to catch up and try to overtake back for that lead.
And a purple lap from Fernandez.
Purple.
He's not taking any prisoners, and For Fun going in the pits might be damaged. They already have their long stop done, so it's certainly not that.
Is he trying to do one overcut? But I don't think the GT3 car has enough fuel for the 1 hour and 30 minutes. Even if you can make the tires last, they will not be able to finish with 120 liters of fuel.
Yeah, but they were in the pits not that long ago, weren't they?
Yeah, no, probably maybe send it way too hard and touched the barrier.
So in the meantime, Network Sim Racing did reacquire P1 in TCR.
Have a GT3 car coming by, trying to make that move. Sometimes you have to wait for opportunity to overtake slower cars. Oh, and we have a GT3 car.
Yep, the overshot. They tried to send it on the inside for overtaking a TCR, but did not go that well. Oh, sorry, I thought it was one of these drivers. Couldn't quite catch which GT3 we just saw going out on the track of the GP circuit.
Slow as fun, 102 seconds. And we have another fight for P14.
P14 indeed, between Family Team and Maverick Motorsports. BMW chasing down the Porsche in the forest.
Gonna be really interesting how it's gonna end up on the straightaway. They're closing by.
Yeah, they are approaching the famous long straight of the track, so the BMW just has to be close
Good
enough to the
corner.
Porsche to make advantage of the slipstream.
Ooh, it's that infamous corner for me as well. When you forget you need to lift over there, as it takes out.
So it's family team up to P14, overtaking Maverick Motorsports. It's also slow as fun is chasing BMS for the 5th position. Yet again, a BMW behind the Porsche.
Let's see how this ends up. As we are in the middle of the Nordschleife. Oh no, it's only at the start. We're closing down to the infamous jumping corner that GTR has took out of flight.
So Ralph Czernevsky is behind the wheel that BMW is just closing down on the BMS car, driven by Maximiliano Braga,
Trying to find
going side by side, showing himself in the mirrors of the Porsche, really trying to get on their nerves.
He does try to find a gap in.
Ooh, and overshot it. And into the barriers, that was quite a heavy hit. The car just flew away in the fast left-hander.
It's really interesting that he can still drive. Though Pro, another Porsche, is chasing the last. Yeah.
Well, now the Porsche is behind.
You were like 2 Porsches. The Porsche sandwich. But now he is not attacking but trying to defend from the Porsche car.
Ooh, and lost it. Went on the curbs pretty much, and I wouldn't be surprised if that car would be damaged after all these contacts with the wall. Certainly, halftime the race is certainly not going far for Ralph Czernevskis.
We'll probably see him going into the pits at the end of this lap.
Unfortunately for him, he had already done his long pit stop, so he will lose a lot of time if he has to deal with damages, let alone that he will still need to complete half of the lap on this enormous circuit.
That's why the best is to keep that long pit stop as long as you can and do it at the end. So if you do any stupid mistake, you can use that to your advantage and can save your ass a bit from losing a lot of time, losing just a couple of seconds.
So with 1 hour and 25 minutes to go, let's assess a bit at halftime of the race. What are we looking at on the leaderboard? So in GT3, it's Davi Fernandez leading the race, taking the first position from Forfan Sim Racing, currently P4, who we strongly suspect has done some mistake, maybe suffered some damage, so that the Brazilian driver could get his hand on the first position. Behind Fernandez is Unstable team with Dmitry Ivanikov, although the Ukrainian driver haven't done his long pit stop yet. So behind him, Sauce's squad, with Erwan Lecourbe, the French driver, driving the Audi R8. Quite a unique car choice for this run. If you look at the GT3 roster for this track. And moving on to GT4, it's Tatum Tech still leading the race ahead of 47 Senior Racing Team. The two McLarens have locked down the front row so far, with No Grip Motorsports being behind them, tailing the Camaro. Both, yeah, the third position actually has more than a lap is it? Actually, according to the World Sim Series timing, P2 has 1 lap behind the leader, as well as we can see it also refreshed here too. So Tatum Tech just absolutely getting farther and farther from their competitors in the hands of Simone Iazzi, the Italian driver. And last but not least, in TCR, it's Adam Cassoni leading with currently 13 seconds ahead of Siren's Speed Demons. You just saw him reacquiring that first position on the GP track at the beginning of the lap. So behind him, as I said, is James Liphart in the Siren Speed Demons car, and in P3 it's Milan Zeman, the Czech driver in the Beskidi Phantoms car. And, of course, Wild Ones in P4 and TCR in the hands of Tiago Pinto Atenas, the Portuguese driver. So that's how we stand after 1.5 hours of racing. Still the last 50% or the second 50% of the race to go for us here. So currently, Davi Fernandez is looking at a first position, starting from P3 in qualifying. So quite a strong race from the Brazilian driver so far.
I wonder what happened to the for fun sim racing.
Yeah, I'm also aching to know. They were leading very confidently. They were having actually, if I remember correctly, several tens of seconds of lead ahead of Fernandez.
He had a 15 seconds of lead. The end of his stint, and then he lost it. I wonder, is P3 going to catch up to the P2 and Unstable Team?
Yeah, South's squad is chasing down Unstable Team, and you gotta remember the team in P2, Unstable have not done their long pits yet, so virtually Saucy's squad is holding on to that second position. But well, as we saw, it might not just be a virtual lead ahead of the Ukrainian driver.
And as we predicted, Slow as Fun is back to the pit lane and trying to fix his car up. After that,
and he loses several positions. Very unfortunate for Chernevskis. He actually qualified P2, so it must be very painful to lose that much positions because of a mistake like this. I really just wanted to overtake that Porsche and send that car, but lost it in a fast sweeping left-hander. Almost Motorsports getting a purple lap.
P24. Did he do a driver change? Check. Small sport. No, he is a solo driver. It's a personal best for him. The fastest lap is held by For Fun Sim Racing.
Yes, it's
Matteo Venotti.
Exactly, 8 minutes 8. And the HUD is acting up.
The next closest Dan Fernandez that is holding the P1 at the moment. He has done 8 minutes and 9. But I think he's gonna go slow and steady to finish finish in P1 and not try to catch set the fastest lap of the race. And now they're closing by to the second place to that Mercedes AMG.
Oh, Nexart's Motorsport is yet again in the pits. Currently holding on to the last position in GT3. Yeah, still out of the 24 entries, whereas I see it's 5 DNFs so far that we have in GT3. And just one DNF in GT4 class, the entirety of the TCR. Sorry?
We had 13 minutes ago a penalty from race control to Muffler Shop Racing. I wonder how that happened and for what.
Oh yeah, right. But yeah, you're absolutely right. They are down to P18. They were fighting for one of the top 10 positions actually.
If I remember correctly, we do have a steward that is stewarding inside here that is giving out the penalties for today's race. And heads up for 24 hours that we're gonna have a real-time steward in there who will watch your mistakes and your fights with others, so you have to be careful.
You're saying this like
make him upset.
And you're saying this like the racers can identify that as a threat.
Sometimes the steward is your best friend. Sometimes you're gonna have to deal with it. Because if you do a mistake and take somebody out, you're gonna have to do a drive-through or a stop and go. At the worst case scenario, you can even get a
Unstable Racing losing it. Saucy Squad did not need to have any moves because the Mercedes did a favor for them.
Well, Mercedes took themselves out as they went on the grass and just spun out.
Yeah, I mean, the Mercedes haven't taken their long stop yet, so it might be cooked tires. Muffler Shop Racing just taken their DT.
Have for fun sim racing, catching up slowly to P2 and trying to. Oh, we have an Audi. That's fun.
Yep. I think they actually caught it just in time, but we lose several precious seconds to for Fun Sim Racing, who, just as you said, is coming in hot behind them, currently closing down the gap into about 8.5 seconds.
He is trying to make some positions up. I don't think he's gonna get to P1. David Fernandez, P1, has done 08.268. Still not the fastest lap of the race. That is done by For Fun Sim Racing team. He has done 08.08.
Yeah, well, For Fun Sim Racing has hard to tell. The timing is kind of all over the place. It does matter whether it's 36 or 58 seconds.
If you can gain only 1 second per lap, it's still not enough to
Yeah, he needs some larger mistake from Fernandez to still have any shot at reacquiring the P1. So whatever mistake or damage they suffered, it seems to be it will turn out to be very costly.
Slow as fun.
Yeah, I was just looking at them, trying to get back those positions after the little crash. Currently chasing Scuderia Ticini for P8, and 4 seconds behind the Portuguese.
And Speed Demons is running. He's not catching away. IRT Sim Racing is running away quite a lot. The previous time we saw 13 seconds, now it's almost 20 seconds of gap to the P1.
Yeah, for TCR and especially for GT4, this had been a pretty uneventful race so far. I mean, obviously, not too much entries in neither of the classes, but still, we at least saw a little clash for the first position in TCR. But in GT4, it's absolutely mental. Tatum Restek just ran away as far as they could from 47 senior racing team, and same can be said about P2 getting a gap ahead of No Grip Motorsports. So seems to be the 3 GT4 teams have drivers of 3 very wildly different skills.
Minutes left until the most of their stint times. We're gonna see in 15 minutes around the last pit stops for the teams who have not crashed, most likely.
Scuderia Ticini is suddenly 1 second behind Burp Pro, who we haven't really seen today as much. They had a pretty uneventful race as well, but right now their 7th position is threatened by Diogo Cerqueira.
I have a BMW that's fighting for a Porsche again, so
this is a recurring pattern.
I remember that it didn't end up quite good.
And also, as far as I recon, we haven't really seen any like action overtakes per se. It was always just someone losing their car. So it will be lovely to see finally see these guys take this wheel-to-wheel for 7th position in GT3.
I wonder what happened to the slow S1 team, because they went to P11 at the moment.
They are out of the top 10 yet again. So I see P14 is yellow flagged. Goldenberg Racing. Oh, they teleported back to pits. That means very serious trouble for the Austrians. could just catch the car being dead stop on by the side of the track, and when you cannot even drive it back to the pit, that's extremely alarming. So Goldenberg Racing was holding on to P14, and that TCR will need to be careful because a battle is going on right behind them. Oh, tries to take it very carefully, but actually surprises the GT3s a bit. But everyone got away safely from the foxhole.
The battle is still running, and Porsche is not running away, as the BMW is winding down the time and the gap between them.
Absolutely, Sarkera absolutely has the grab on the Burpro car, currently driven by Jakub Prohaska.
And the car just went straight to the wall. The P2 team that was, and the car just went straight to the wall.
That was Siren Speed Demons.
I wonder, is there a chance for Beskip Phantoms team to catch up to the second place?
Well, they're pretty far back. They are they are actually a lap behind Siren Speed Demons.
Yeah, but if the car is totaled, there is a chance maybe to.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There's a bit more than 1 hour to go.
Still time to gain position, and there is still time to lose your position.
They go side by side on the fast sweeping section. Wow, that was a very aggressive but very clean move from Scuderia Ciuccini. Very good down, but not so fast because Burpro is trying to get the position back. Oh, finally, a back and forth brawl. Oh, and the Porsche takes the curbs.
He just...
And a pretty hard kiss with that wall. Oh, how unfortunate. Tried to take that curb, that high curb pretty aggressively, trying to get that position back to the BMW fast as they could, just before the Caruso.
I'm the Porsche that ended up in the wall, not the BMW.
Yeah, so it's a 1-1 for Team Porsche and Team BMW.
I wondered if he got a lot of damage or not. But looks like he's still driving quite good.
For yet another fan service, I'm trying to find the Gojira team on the leaderboard with little success. Ah, there we go. Currently P21, P16 in GT3 class. They qualified P22, so they did make 6 positions up. Quite respectable from the Brazilian team. Oh, and especially looking that they have done 2 long pit stops. Might have been damages at the beginning of the race. So Diego Catenacci, it's another one-person entry team. Also, we haven't already talked about that. The guys who have joined up with 2 drivers per team might have an edge over the people who take the race solo, because you have, after like an hour and a half, you have a fresh driver So BMS from P5 went and to their driver swap. So it was Sirenio Ramos who got in the seat of Maximiliano Braga. They have been keeping that Porsche quite well in the top 10, pretty consistently. Now they also have the long step out of the way, so they can go full push now, of course, as much safety as they can manage to bring that car home. We'll still have 1 hour and 5 minutes to go from this race. So in the last hour approaching, there are very few teams without the long pit stop. It's Unstableable team, P4 in GT3. They are the farthest one ahead who haven't done their long pit stop yet. Also for Almost Motorsport, currently P9, sorry, P8 in GT3.
As I'm watching, the BMS does have some connection issues.
Yep, certainly looks like it. Ooh, teleporting all over the place.
You
It's
get
not
enough
my connection.
issues, you may.
No, it's fine for fun sim racing, so might be an issue on the side of BMS. For Fun Racing is catching Sausage Squad, currently sitting a bit more than 3 seconds behind the Audi in P2.
Not received any connecting issues. The P4 TCR has just disconnected. There is a chance they're doing long pit stop for the last of.
Well, it's a two-person team, so I'm not screaming DNF yet. According to the timing, they have done their long pits already. Yep, they are back on track.
One team has already done 3 long pit stops.
It was supposed to Universal Racing. They also acquired a penalty. So they are P22. Oh, they actually got. So far, they got 2 drive-through penalties and a 140-second stop and go.
So maybe that's why, but quite a lot of long pit stops.
Yeah, the stop and go was for actually improperly taking the long pit stop. Did not wait minimum time in pit lane. So pretty soon we will see a fight for second position overall in GT3 between For Fun Sim Racing with Matteo Venuti behind the wheel, chasing down Sausage Squad with Irvan Lecourbe, French driver who had taken that Audi to P2 in GT3, but will need to defend against that Lexus sooner than he thought.
The Lexus should start gaining a lot of time on that straightaway. Yes, it does. Jumps back down to 1.5 seconds to the P2.
That Lexus will become larger and larger in the rearview mirror of the Audi. Oh, and he is banking it, an 86.9 from Venuti. Well, he was already holding on to the fastest lap, but now he had secured that purple lap to his name. When the
What's the chance for Davy Fernandez to get back and get the Yuna fastest lap? The rest now it's quite. Can
yeah,
quite see that.
even the second fastest lap is a 8.9.2 from David Fernandez, so it's was 2.5 seconds away from Venuti. It was a very, very fast lap from the Italian driver. That's all I can do now. We can just drive as humanly as fast as he can and really hope that Fernandez will run into some sort of issue. And so he can acquire the first position.
The gap is still a bit too inhumane. Half a minute. Basically, there is quite a lot of corners that you have to get through. But you can, if he does a mistake, the gap can get down to 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Indeed, like, imagine, ooh, and even faster lap from Muikin Motorsports. Oh, this is turning into a time attack race.
P5 has took a fastest lap of the race. So we have two contenders for the next race, maybe.
Well, unless someone will, from the back of the GT3 pack, will just go for fresh tires and the splash and dash to just take the fastest lap out of the hands of the leaders. Ooh, a little grass time for Saucy's squad. They really feel the pressure for front sim racing. I'm not surprised. I mean, imagine seeing the guy behind you set such a beast lap time.
It is
that
really...
Lexus is all over the Audi now.
You have to be really careful on this if you're gonna try to overtake another car, as we have saw the BMW trying to take the Porsche.
Sordowskis from Slovas Fun who lost it exactly on this spot, and Venuti is set it on the inside of the corner, and beautiful. That was a textbook overtake from Matteo Venuti for the second position. Now with the Saucy squad also has some fighting spirit in them. They are not letting go of that P2. Absolutely rightfully so. They've been able to hold that podium position for this long. Might as well fight for it.
See Audi, and we're coming up to back markers in front that could change the order of the P2 and P3.
It's TCR traffic ahead of them. It's the P3 in TCR class.
They may use the back marker as an advantage to overtake, and now the TCR letting them by to the side and letting them fight out on the track. But we're still coming up for another back marker that is a GT3, if I'm correct.
Few corners ahead. Oh yeah, sorry. Indeed, it's a BMW. Also, the very, very lucky position for P2 and P3 to get through that back marker fast as they can.
Gaudi may wanted that back marker to slow down that Lexus, to use it at disadvantage to try to overtake them. They're coming down.
Yeah, the very fast sweeping section towards the carousel. Both drivers are really on the limits of their cars and of the tracks. Very lovely to see that this French squad is not letting go of that P2. We are Oh, and Atrox Sim Racing has taken another long pit from,
I wonder
from
what
the lead of TCR.
Wonder how it ended up in the.
And they are still P1.
Okay, that's quite interesting.
I mean, maybe we just needed this
but
stretch.
maybe he saw that he has enough time. I mean, if SP demons did crash out though, and probably did quite a lot of damage to their car. That's why Adam had the chance to get up. Now they're still trying to keep
Yes,
up
Sausage
with
Squad
that
is still
Lexus.
well within half a second behind 4 Fun Sim Racing.
He does need to keep that gap until the straightaway to not, so the Lexus will not run away from him, as it is a bit faster car on the straight.
Getting closer and closer to Venuti. Essentially being on the bumper of that Lexus. The Accord could have been faster in this section of the track, and does a very good job of staying close to the 4 Fun Sim Racing car. Just 2 corners to go before the straight section, and you will have the chance to try a slingshot. Although the gap had grown back to 0.5 seconds between the 2 cars.
It's Yara up ahead, P2.
Now they're trying to steal as much slipstream as they can from the back marker.
Did overtake, and he did lose half a second.
So the leader in GT4 is connected, so they are, I guess they are doing their long stop. Yep, they haven't done their long pits yet, so the leader in GT4 is embarking on their long pit stop. The Sausage Squad also went to the pits.
You have to remember that for fun, still gonna have to do one pit stop to refuel and change tires, as they had a bit of an outage, so it could end up again a really close battle for P2.
Well, how long is a stint in a GT3 car on this track?
It's about 65 minutes.
Oh, okay. So it's it's the last pit stop for Sausage Squad. If everything will go according to their plans, obviously. Still, anything can happen in these 52 minutes. Which is also true for their competitors, of course.
Dave Fernandez still have to do a pit stop too. Almost a motorsport with the fastest lap of the race. Getting caught up by a Commander BMW.
Wasn't Moiki Motorsports setting the fastest time?
Yeah, it's a Moiki Motorsport. Moiki Motorsport is catching up to the P4 though. P4 is at
unstable team. It might do their long pit because they haven't yet. So Moiki Motorsports, yes, indeed, have taken P4.
watch out for Miku Motorsports. Maybe they will try to fight for P4. They're still half a minute away, but there is a chance to fight for P3. Stable, still inside their pit stop, almost Motorsport going into the pit lane. We will see a slow as fun climbing up and on, lapping themselves. Comanda has went into P. Yes, almost Motorboss hasn't done their long pit stop. They're gonna do their long pit stop, and stable team still should be doing their long pit stop. They have just done it. Most Motorsport is doing their long pit stop interval. Slow as fun. And they have already done it. They are provisionally P9 at the moment. There is a chance that we may will see a fight, Commander and Burpro, BMW versus Porsche, as it is going down. It's only 7 second gap is between them. Almost a Motorsport has already done their long pit stop. They went out at P11, I think, or P12.
Yeah, so everyone from GT3 is now done the mandatory long pit stops. Actually, not only from GT3, everyone in the entire field have completed it. So everyone is barking either on their last pit stops now. And first I see Kuamanda is slowly catching Burpro ahead of them as the track is getting a bit darker now, and there's absolute need for headlights for the cars, especially taking into account that we are in the middle of a forest. Bear in mind that we are using the real time and real weather conditions, apart from rain on the track, so it is actually getting dark here in well, Central Europe, or yeah, Western Europe, I guess, if we talk about Germany.
Seconds gap, and it's going down. We will see another BMW versus Porsche fight. Let's see at the moment another fighting happening here. Oh, and BMW just...
Yeah, well, they need to push aggressively to catch Burpro if they want to overtake them, because that will certainly take some of their precious time too. What we're looking at here is a possible fight for P6 at the end of the race.
You may still see fighting for P2 because for fun, sim racing will have to do their pit stop in, if I calculated correctly, in 20 minutes. So 25 minutes left until the end of the race.
No,
So
I'll
splash
keep you
and
to your
dash.
word.
You're gonna have to do a splash and dash. Finish of the race. For fun, sim racing is quite. Oh, the leader just went to do its last stop, and for fun is catching to the leader.
Yep, David Fernandez in the pits right now, which is good news for Fun Sim Racing. Because Thomas said they will also need to do a pit stop, so Fernandez really needs to put the pedal to the metal now, if he wants to still keep that BMW ahead of Fun Sim Racing until the end of the race. Pretty consistent and confident lead from the Brazilian driver so far. It's lovely to see.
Gonna be quite interesting last 10 minutes where we're gonna see all of them positions finalizing. We will be able to say who is going to finish where.
So the gap is down to 4.4 seconds between Pro and Komanda, with Prohatska and Gudas driving the two cars. Gudas can actually now see the BMW ahead of him. He's certainly close enough for that.
Oh, it's two BMWs, I think.
No, sorry,
No,
I was wrong. It's a Porsche.
Yeah,
it will be a Porsche. The BMW is a back marker.
Yep. To get by that back mark as fast as possible.
A bit unpredictable that movement was from the blue flagged Beamer, but now the Komanda team is safely through, although lost a couple of seconds, or more than just 1 second.
Sometimes the back markers can really depend on if you're gonna win this or not.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, you can win as much with traffic as you can lose.
Gudineri is doing their last pit stop.
Yeah, from the 5th position. I don't know how much fuel will they take, but they actually end up not that far behind Pro and Komanda. Oh, and I saw a spin on the map by P19, Gojira Sim Motorsport, sorry. Oh, and taking excursion to the wall. The end of the race not going in the direction of the Brazilian team, and both the Pro and Komanda teams are pitting for the last stop in the race.
I wonder, Unstable is gonna go back on their positions. They don't need to pit anymore. They're gonna take the advantage, and they're gonna end up P6.
Yeah, so it seems like the long pit stop they taken very late will pay out. They have chosen a good strategy so far. And bear in mind that this guy qualified to P15, so if they finish P6, that's 9 positions made up. That's very respectable by the AMG driver.
We still have a chance to fight for P5. Commander Burpro should be out of the pit lanes, and they are. They're driving out.
Yeah, Commander has taken a longer pit stop because the gap has now jumped from 5 to 12 seconds between the two cars.
We have quite 10 seconds gap from everybody. Milk Motorsport still have a chance to fight for P3 as he is running down the gap. It was 30 seconds, now it's only 10. He's gaining quite a lot of time per lap, let's say. Still 40 minutes left until at the end of the race. So if he rains down, let's say 3 seconds per lap, there is a chance to gain another position and finish in the top 10 on the podium.
But the last lap of Sassy's squad was a 9:20, indicated with red for me in the timing, meaning that they actually spent some time outside of the track. And also, let's look at the fact that Muki Motorsports right now has the fastest lap overall, with that monstrous 8.5 seconds. By the way, that's almost 2.5 seconds faster than the fastest time set in the qualifying session. It would even gotten them
an Audi
out. Wasn't it the Beamer? I thought I saw.
I think it's 18. No, it was not.
I think it was Goldenberg Racing.
Yeah. No. You just.
They were also quite far ahead, and they are now holding into P21. Not really. The race not really going into their direction. 16th in position right now. Yeah, as I was saying, the fastest lap of Muki Motorsports, it shows that these guys mean business.
So, cut down another 4 seconds, basically.
Yeah, Saucy's squad is, well, they really need to look in the rearview mirrors in this last hour of the race. Oh, terribly sorry, I've got another game crash. At least not the... We'll be back to the race immediately. Yet again, do excuse me for the technical inconveniences. So the gap is down to 2.8 seconds. That Audi certainly spent some time off track. And that we're back. Wouldn't even be surprised if they got damaged because the gap is just disappearing between the two cars. And now, even now with the slipstream, that BMW will just eat the Audi in the straight. And it might be over for Gothenburg Racing. What a shame, 35 minutes left on the clock and need to finish the race prematurely. So Muki Motorsports up to P3 now. Very strong race from the Finnish squad. From a qualification for P7, they are looking at a top 3 finish.
You can see, yeah, he did make it, and he's for fun. He did do his pit stop. He had a technical difficulty, and he is 30 seconds behind P1.
Oh, also the Burr Pro car. Oh, the unstable AMG has gotten out of track. And just as we were discussing how good of a strategy they choose, well, they lost the car on track. One mistake, it's gone.
We're gonna see a BMW fighting Mercedes at the moment. I think his tires are overheated, so...
Oh, and lost the car again.
Yeah, once you overheat the tires, it's quite hard to cool them down. And the more you try to press the gas and push again, the more it will work against you. You need to be careful. After a spin out, you need to start slowly.
Quite a few positions lost for unstable team, just in the last 33 minutes of the race.
We have an hour left until the end of this first round.
Half an hour.
Yes. No, half an hour.
Oh, sorry, I heard an hour.
There is still a chance for BMS to catch up and gain one more position as they're running.
Oh, exactly,
up,
exactly.
A few seconds between them.
It seems that the connection has at least somewhat improved for the Brazilian team. The Porsche is not jumping around as much as it did on the exit of the pits.
The BMS really reeling down the Mercedes. It's only one second of the gap. I wonder if he has enough time. I think we're gonna see an overtake on the first corner of this track.
Yeah, Ramos has all the rights to send it to get P9 from unstable team. I don't know the...
P8.
Oh, sorry, yes, P8. But at least seems like the AMG does not have any serious damages from these two spins. For the second spin, I actually thought it was because of the car suffered some damage, but it turns out you were right, just about the mistakes just kind of accumulating after one another when you lose the car once. But what matters is that the BMS Porsche is now less than 1.5 seconds behind that Mercedes.
There is a chance we may see an unstable trying to improve that gap and run away from Porsche as their tires have cooled down from that spin out, and after a long straight they should go down in their temperatures to their optimal temperature basically. So they should try to push down the car and try to run away from that BMS Porsche.
Well, but first things first, they need to overtake them. Oh, sorry, you were explaining the Mercedes running away. You see, I'm getting more tired than some of the drivers who have driven 3 hours. Maybe I should stack up on the Red Bull we were mentioning at the beginning of the race.
It's great that it's not 24 hours and we and as the drivers have practice, commentators have practice.
Oh, absolutely. I hope I will qualify for the 24-hour race too.
Be a commentator.
Yeah, well, we could invent some rules for us too. Less than 2 game crashes per round.
Yeah, as I explained, the Mercedes is trying to make a bigger gap from that Porsche. Porsche does some mistakes on that. Corner before the straight line. Maybe 3 seconds. 2 seconds up, Mercedes. We can watch cat and a mouse right now. One is trying to run away, another is trying to catch up.
Yeah, it's a predator and prey game that's happening right in front of our very eyes. Which currently the Mercedes has the edge on the Porsche. Such a wonderful thing when you gain an understanding of your car so well that you can just use all of its advantages in situations like this. So it's like pulling out some extra performance out of your head at right, for example, at the end of the race when you need it.
3 hours you start to know the car, start to know where you can push and where not. Like watching your opponent's lines, you can try to find some pace up after 3 hours of chasing them or trying to defend. Again, 2 seconds. The Porsche is quite fast coming out of the slow corners as it gains time towards Mercedes.
Yeah, just as we saw earlier, the gap is going back and forth between the two cars. It really shows it's two cars with very different attributes. We can also see the difference between the front engine and the mid-engine advantages.
The Mercedes are quite good at taking those deadly curves, though. It's more fine than the Porsche, as it just touches the curb and it just flips. Only 1 second of gap, and it's reeling down real fast.
So only 0.5 behind unstable team, the BMS Porsches. It's the closest they have been since quite a few time.
You may see that Mercedes, the unstoppable team driver, may be very cautious at driving at the higher speed to not crash, as he did last lap. So might be more cautious than the Porsche and just trying. Porsche is going flat out and trying to overtake as fast as possible.
Yeah, I mean the unstable team is kind of still recovering those from those spins. Ooh. And just we jinxed it for him is the commentator's curse that has been struck upon the Ukrainian driver He loses the 8th position to the BMS Porsche, putting quite some pressure on him for an entire lap on here in the Nordschleife. I mean, the guy had been driving for 2.5 hours, and there are still 25 long minutes to go for him. And just a few corners until this straight, when you can maybe relax a bit. Already the gap between the two cars actually had gone back 2.2 seconds, so Ivanikov might have the chance to go for an overtake. Ooh, it's pretty dangerous spot to be that close to your opponent, but the Porsche also loses it, and BMS also takes a little tour outside the white line. So
we are practicing for rallycross, not Nordschleife track.
Yeah.
As they are trying to drive on the gravel. You'll see again a mouse and Bray. I mean, cat and mouse game. The mouse will try to run down and try to catch up. So you can see the drivers are getting tired after 3 hours of that.
Oh, but I mean, BMS did do a driver swap. So Ramos is only in the car since, what, half an hour or maybe 1 hour at most?
And if you really used only to the 30 minutes of sprint series, that it's happening daily, there is a chance that you're not really used to driving the whole hour. Some people even doing a 3 hours solo. So.
Yeah, well, this is, if anything, guys, this is excellent training ground for them. We still have 6 rounds from the 3-hour series, so by the end we get to the last rounds of this series in August. They will be just experts in taking these long 3-hour stints, so they can be going to the 24-hour race with full confidence, a lot of expertise behind their back. Mercedes is still a bit sketchy.
Another penalty from race control, drive-through penalty for Maverick Motorsport. Drive-through penalty.
Oh, they are currently sitting in 13th position. So they might lose their position to Transcorlatkick Motorsport. What a name to choose for your team. Well, the Mercedes is out of the track again. What is happening to these two people?
Maybe it's getting a bit darker for them to see their braking lines. They have not trained on the night.
Yeah, I've seen Porsche rally cars, but not too many Mercedes rally cars so far.
There's a chance for the slowest fun is catching up, and P11 is catching up to them too. So their mistake will get used up by slowest fun and P11 drivers, as they're coming down to take up their place.
Yeah, there's seemingly a lot of pressure on Dmitry Ivanikov behind the wheel of that AMG, because in the last 20 minutes he had lost quite a few positions. He was doing very well, but spent a bit too much time on the grass. But I mean, let's not write him off. He's attacking that Porsche very fiercely, and loses it in one of the worst places he could. Oh yeah, the little jump and arrow wash from the car ahead is not at all a good combo, especially when you're almost 3 hours into your stint and you're growing tired. Come to think of it, he actually got away from that like relatively safely and well. It could have been much worse for him.
You're not really used to the 3-hour stints. It's really taking a toll on you, not only physically but psychologically or mentally.
Yeah, and
the more mistakes and even...
Oh, sorry, go on.
And the more mistakes you do, the harder it is for you. So.
Yeah, it's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah, slow as fun.
Slow as fun, really. You had the right for this 8th position. We have been very busy with watching Unstable Racing and BMS fighting, but Czernevskis just appeared seemingly out of nowhere and overtaken the two guys in just a snap of a finger. So the Latvian is now in P8, 33 seconds behind Guamanda. That might be a bit too far, 19 minutes from the end of the race to reach.
Family team that is trying to come back and overtake BMS Unstable team. Have a little train going down for the last 20 minutes of
BMS
race.
and Unstable are like magnets for people behind them.
Ooh!
And again loses that Mercedes. Well, good news for Unstable team is that Almost Motorsport is 50 seconds behind them, so no more pressure at least directly. But they are out of the top 10. So now it's Family Team chasing down BMS. So the Porsche might lose some positions at the final minutes of the race. And then the kind of just looked like they'll let Family Team go.
We may even see a Family Team trying to fight for a P8.
Oh, with slow as fun? Oh, absolutely, I can see that.
3 seconds.
Yeah, the gap is certainly decreasing between the two BMWs.
One lap you're P11, next lap you're P9.
Yeah, some crazy end of the race push from Family Team.
The track changes, the position sometimes changes real fast on let's say per lap basis. I mean the lap is very long, it's like 20 plus kilometers, but it's still quite interesting to watch though. Really have to fight through this forest.
Also, let's not forget that it's getting darker and darker, and you have no artificial lighting or anything in the forest sections. So the only thing you can rely on is your pair of headlights and your instincts. And passing that back marker, the gap is now 2 seconds between Slow as Fun and Family Team. Approaching the straight section, they will both be able to just take a big breath, get themselves together, and possibly prepare for a fight in the next lap.
Phantom TCR car, and he is using its blinker.
Yeah,
It's quite
real nice of him.
Quite fun to see.
Reminds you of the Dacia.
Scope Phantom has disconnected. I wonder what happened. He got kicked
Oh,
from the
yeah, they
race.
were P3. They were doing P3 in TCR. Oh, so we might have a DNF in TCR after all.
Oh, they have our 21 connection issues, so there is a chance. Yes, Jurica has had over 21 issues, and if you have yes, if you have over 20 connection issues, you're gonna be kicked. So that way, they can. I think they are able to join. The other driver may able to join though. Back to finish to drive through the finish line.
Yeah, actually, I think connection issues do not count towards the qualification for the 24-hour race, so they are only down to 15 incident points. And, well, not at all 5 laps behind the leader, so they are still eligible.
And they have to do a stop and go for 125, where they didn't wait for the long pit stop. Even if you reconnect, something happened, you still have to wait for the long pit stop timer to go out. Otherwise, you're gonna have to do a stop and go.
And sneakily, Mookie Motorsports is catching Fuss's squad in P3. Weren't they P3? What happened there?
I think they were P3, but they did lose something.
Well, something certainly happened to the Finnish squad, but they are catching P3 very fast, although they only have 13 minutes to get behind that Audi. Certainly not a whole lot of time for them.
Get another drive-through for almost racing team. So we can see that Stewart is really working and is doing his job.
So to just have a quick little rundown before we approach the last 10 minutes of the NLS 3-hour series first round. In GT3, the lead is still Davi Fernandez, keeping a 53-second lead ahead of For Fun Sim Racing. Don't be fooled, that is not the overall fastest lap of the race, that's just the fastest lap of Fernandez, although 86.03, that's very much respectable. So in GT3, For Fun Sim Racing in P2 and Sassis Squad in P3, although Mookie Motorsports number 3 is very quickly approaching behind them. In GT4, situations unchanged. Tatum Restek is leading by a light here ahead of 47 Senior Racing and No Grip Motorsports. Very confident, very chill race for the McLaren squad. And in TCR, IRT at Truck Sim Racing is the current leader ahead of Sirens Speed Demons, who have the lead over Wild Ones, and P4 is currently held by Beskidi Phantoms, who just got back from a little issue, but are still finishing the race. But let's head back to the fight for P3 because Mookie Motorsports is actually less than a second from that Audi. I feel strong deja vu here. I think we saw this exact scene since not much more than 10 minutes. And making use of the slipstream, just drives by the Audi F6 squad and gets the P3 again. Let's see if they can now actually hold onto that position until the end of the race.
We may see a family team going up. Is there only 3 seconds?
And
Mickey doing another.
4.6.
He's not joking. He's not joking around.
Not at all.
Trying. That's a 0.4.
So as we are within the last 10 minutes, family team very much desires to get that 8th position out of the hands of Slow as Fun.
Only 2.5 seconds behind. There's still a chance to catch up to the P8 and overtake him.
Yeah, and after 3 hours of racing, it's lovely to see that several positions in the top 10 overall are not at all decided.
Seconds. Minutes left. So this and one more lap to go. As leader is still a half lap in. Oh, sim racing has disconnected.
Oh, that's very sudden. Oh no, I wonder what happened to that. That was completely out of nowhere.
Could it be an internet connection issue?
Oh, it absolutely
technical
could be.
difficulties.
Well, it's extremely unfortunate for them. They were leading the race for a pretty long stretch, and then were rightfully so fighting for P2.
We get the message from Matteo Venotti. Broke the engine with 2 laps to go, had some damage, and I went off the corners after the jump. So it's very unfortunate for him, though. To end only 7 minutes, 8 minutes end of the race. Yes, he had to do one more lap.
Yeah, so in the when the clock is down to 0, that will be the last lap for the leader. So there's no extra lap done.
Leader should start one more lap until the clock ticks 0.
An unstable team still not giving up now that 4Fun is out of the game. They are actually back to the top 10, and fastly approaching BMS. Someone is making a comeback here.
Team losing quite a lot of time to the slowest fun, and the gap is 5 seconds already. I think the Mercedes still have a chance to get up to P9. As the leader comes down to the Hungary Straight. Or the almost last lap. Lowest one still running away. Unstable, I'm saying. The only battle that is happening right now
See, Vanikov has not at all given up on that 9th position. And we'll have a final siege, as it were, for the position in the last 4
leader
minutes.
is going through the finish line to start its final lap of this race.
Very carefully, the Mercedes has lost the car here, although now he is in front just before the little jump section and safely takes the EMG through those corners. And all it took was a better exit than a Porsche and could just drive by the side of them. So Dmitry Bandikov is now up to P9.
Oh, okay. That was quite weird from the overlay. It showed 1 second to the family team. It did lie a bit what happened to family team, but everything is okay. I mean, they did lose quite a lot of time to slow as fun, and the gap is 14 seconds.
We're really curious what this little battle will boil down to, because we did see plenty of slip-ups from both drivers, but whichever driver commits any mistake might be their final mistake in this race, at least in terms of now it's really about who can get that car back to the start-finish line in one piece without spending any time outside of the track.
This leader is doing its final lap, and it's right now at Nordschleife apart, so
Yep.
it is.
They just turned outside of the GP circuit.
A lot of teams have done quite big gaps between them, so they are quite chilling around in their position. The only battle is unstable.
Not quite sure to say yet, after, especially after 3 hours.
And BMS Porsche.
Yeah, for the.
I can't wait for the 24 hours.
Oh,
so
yeah, exactly.
how you gonna be speaking after the 24 hours of the race? So you're gonna hear, all you're gonna hear is a gibberish from commentator booth. You're gonna have to understand that. That for past 24 hours, commentators were running on coffee and just dreams.
Yeah, hopes and dreams it
There
is.
to
Oh, and the
and
BMS
we have
Porsche is going in the walls, and the carousel just overshot the braking into the corner. That might seal the deal for the fate of 9th position.
that may give unstable team a breathing room to finish this race in P9. And clock down is hitting 0. That's it. The leader is at a half point of the track. He's taking quite slow and steady to bring it back in one piece, and he doesn't need to push, as Michael Motorsport is a very well backed. All of his objective right now is to finish in one piece.
Yeah, it should just be an absolute cruise for David Fernandez after 3 hours. Also is unbothered by any traffic. Most of the cars are around the start-finish line, so he does not need to worry about any slower traffic in front of him. He just really needs to cruise around the corners and cruise now that last section of the Nürburgring to bring home the win on the first round of the NLS 3-hour series.
On the onboard this weekend, we stopping by at Davy Fernandez on boards to see his last section of the track going to the finish line. Quite fun to watch that even the leaders sometimes are doing those little mistakes, letting the car slide, and sometimes that little mistake can go downhill and to a barrier.
And BMS is in the pits.
Down to the Donner straight for the last time of the NLS round 1.
Well, it's almost poetic how lonely that leader BMW is on the straight just before he just needs to go through a few corners until he can take the win for the race.
Nice couple of corners left,
And it will be Davi Fernandez who, after 3 hours, will take the win for the first round of the NLS 3-hour series. Congratulations for them. Let me just take a swift look at where the leaders of the other classes are. So next will be the TCR leader Athorx Sim Racing to cross the finish line.
and overtake on a back marker of the same class.
Yeah, careful there.
You can see there is still a lot of people that only has.
In the meantime, Mookie Motorsports and Sausage Squad also cross the finish line in P2 and 3 in GT3.
So donning her straight, and we will see.
Ooh, taking it on the grass. Not necessarily taking it very safe for the very last turns. Well, we can say it's been quite an uneventful race for both the TCR and the GT4 leaders, maybe even more so for the latter. In just a second, we will turn to them as well. Oh, the back marker seems to have a fight for that position.
They are trying to unlap themselves at the end of the race. Ooh.
Nice, sick moves. And it's Adam Cassoni in TCR taking the first position in the NLS 3-hour series. Now let me search for that. Oh, and in the meantime, here we go. The
Datum Restek, P1, I think, yes. Should be a P1. The senior went to the pits.
yeah, don't be fooled by that. It's still Tatum Research who are leading the GT4 class. Since 47 Racing Team was a lap behind, they finished the race a bit earlier than Tatum Res Tech. That's why they are listed as already finished ahead of the other McLaren team. Well, we didn't really see that much GT4 action during this race. They really just went from the start and spread out on their own for the entirety of the race. Only one DNF in the class as well. And not too many incident points for neither of the GT4 teams, so they have all had a relatively chill first round in the NLS 3-hour series.
every car is finishing their laps in the race. Let's try it a bit more wide on the grass. It's quite expensive mower, but maybe it does a job cutting the grass.
It's only a few corners to go for the GT4 leader until we finish the race up. Obviously, we'll wait until everyone gets to the finish line safely.
Yeah, couple off. That truck motorsport is finishing their lap.
What was that?
Start Crockle, a GT4, GT3 car.
I just wanted you to try it.
This like team names are quite interesting, I would say. Everybody coming back to the start finish line, hitting that and BMS that went to the pit lane. Three more GT3 cars are left to finish up the...
Oh, it's actually a TCR
standing.
and two GT3s. It's the Cupra of Wild Ones, just flashing their lights for us, putting a little showboating. I love that. I always love that. And teams still have a little spirit, even after a long race like this. So, as the very last car had crossed the finish line at the end of the first round of the NLS 3-hour series, let's take a look at what we've been waiting for all this time, all the results of the first round. So, starting with the SP9 or GT3 class, it was Davi Fernandez who took the win after these long 3 hours with his BMW M4 GT3. Very, very confident win from the Brazilian. Behind him is Moico Motorsports and Sassis Squad, both fighting themselves up to the podium positions as well. Congratulations to them for that. And coming behind them, Scuderia Ciuccini, Burpro, Kuomanda, Slow as Fun, Unstable team still being able to score a P8 and bringing the AMG in in the top 10. And a family team, BMS, and outside of the top 10 is OMS Motorsport, Maverick Motorsports, Strandkorlátkék Motorsport, very importantly. Gojira Racing Sim Motorsport finished at a 14th position. And behind them, Exerts Motorsport, ez egy fa, Posto Rosso Racing Team, For Fun Racing, Muffler Shop Racing. These latter two are now considered DNF, of course, as well as Goldenberg Racing, Josley Racing. They could also not finish the race, along with Muffler Shop Academy, Phoenix 2040 Sim Crew, and Team Delta Infinite number 83. Moving on to the GT4 class, it was Tandem Restech who took the most dominant win on this race ahead of 47 Senior Racing Team and No Grip Motorsport, who rolled the Camaro up into the third position of the GT4 class, with Crash Team Racing unfortunately not being able to finish the race behind the wheel of that Porsche 718. And last but not least, in the TCR, it's IRT Atherox Sim Racing with Adam Cassoni behind the wheel, winning the TCR class ahead of Sirens, Speed Demons, and Wild Ones. And Basketed Phantoms still bringing the car into the finish. After the issues they had, they unfortunately lost the third position in the class, but still brought the car back to the finish line. Well, this was certainly a mouthful. And congratulations for every driver who participated and finished the race. Now, let's take a quick look at what is coming up for the future. So, what we have up next will be round 2 of the NLS 3-hour series, as I mentioned 3 hours ago, actually more than 3 hours ago. We will have a 7-round championship basically every 2 weeks on every Sunday, same as now, 6 p.m. one race. And don't forget, this series serves as qualification to the Nürburgring 24 hours race we're holding on the 12th and 13th of September. And also, if you want to have just a little more casual fun, we also have the 2 NLS Sprint Series for you, one with GT3 and GT4, and the other with the little but fierce TCR and MX5 Cup machinery. The next races will be held next week. These are weekly races, so we have you covered with races in the green hell every week. So I think, without further ado, it is time to close down this first round of the NLS 3-hour series. Thank you very much, everyone who competed with us on track. Also for everyone who tuned in for the stream. We will see you in 2 weeks for the second round of the NLS 3-hour series. Until then, stay safe, everyone, and goodbye.
Bye.